Stormy Daniels woman, $130,000. I mean, which is going to turn out to be perfectly legal. That money was not campaign money. Sorry, I'm giving you a fact now that you don't know. It's not campaign money.
That was Rudy Giuliani last night on Fox News, which turned our next guest's life upside down once again. I hope you're keeping notes, Karen Travers, ABC News White House correspondent. What's the feeling around the White House this morning?
Well, you know, the White House so far hasn't commented. There was a deputy press secretary last night who had already been booked, presumably on some cable after Rudy Giuliani's interview, and he said he couldn't respond to anything. He's not a lawyer. He just works for the White House. But the president himself has weighed in on Twitter, and he doesn't explicitly say that he repaid Michael Cohen for the payment that he made to Stormy Daniels, but the president explains in pretty detailed legal terms what he calls their arrangement. He says that it was not related to his campaign. That's the key thing here for the White House and what the president's saying. He says it was a monthly retainer that he paid to Michael Cohen, not from the campaign, having nothing to do with the campaign. Money from the campaign or campaign contributions played no role. Why is that important? Because the question here is, where did this money come from, and why was this money used? If it was used to hide an affair from the president's wife or to protect his reputation or help his family, then you stop right there and there's no crime. But the question about could this be considered a campaign contribution by Michael Cohen because it was done to help the president get elected, it was done to keep this quiet weeks before Election Day, then you can look at this as a potential violation of campaign finance law. Remember, we talked about this years ago with John Edwards. It's tricky. It's really difficult to play this case out, but that's why you're going to see the White House and you'll see the president and his allies today emphasizing nothing to do with the campaign.
Yeah. Though it's also news because the White House and his attorney, Michael Cohen, and Sarah Sanders has said for months, as well as the president, that he never paid anybody back and they don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the president was asked on Air Force One a couple weeks ago, did you know about the payment? He said no. Sarah Sanders was asked so many questions about this over the last couple of weeks, and I think the most notable response from her, in light of what we now know, is March 7th. She said, I've had conversations with the president about this, and there was no knowledge of any payments from the president. Also interesting today is the president responding directly for the first time about the allegations made by Stormy Daniels. She says they had a one-time affair in 2006. The White House has said the president strongly, clearly, and consistently denies these claims, but we haven't heard that from the president himself. I've asked him this. Others have asked him this. He's ignored questions on it. But he tweeted today that this arrangement, retainer with Michael Cohen, was used to, quote, stop the false and extortionist accusations made by her about an affair. So it's the first time we're hearing the president call these claims false.
Karen Travers, also his lawyer Ty Cobb is out. This Emmett Flood is in. Giuliani is in. And now it looks like Giuliani is the PR face attack dog of this deal. It looks like the strategy has changed.
Yeah, and not surprising that this is how they would use Rudy Giuliani. I mean, he's somebody that's very familiar to Americans. He's on TV a lot. He's a good friend of the president. He's somebody that's forcefully defended the president during the campaign and over the years. So, you know, he's being now used maybe in this dual role that he might not be poring over legal books in the office, but he's certainly going out there to lay out a public case for the president.
Hopefully you brought your popcorn in and your seatbelts on because you're in for a wild ride, Karen Travers.
Lots of coffee today.
All right. Thanks, Sharon. Have a good day.